back with Kory, and he's bringing us an update to his Monarch deck. Someone did in the comments request this, so we're just deciding to do it then.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, the Buster Blader that was also requested in those comments is also on our channel, so give a look and you'll find it. But as I promised, I will give you the Monarch deck profile right now. Alright, so first of all, run 3 Yugioh, 3 Yugiohs, and the 1 Mithra. I tried cutting down Yugiohs to 2. It just does not work the way you want it to anymore. You kind of need all 3. Even if you draw into it, still you get a free tribute summon off of it if you have correct monsters in your hand, which with how I built the deck most of the time you do. And Mithra, if you already have 3 of these in grave and then 1 of these, you can ditch this from grave, banish from grave, special summon, and then special summon this. You still get the extra tribute summon that turn. So it does work. It just kind of hurts if you draw into the 1 of, but that's why it's a 1 of. Alright. On to the tribute summon monsters. 3 Vanity's Fiend. With how Monarchs run in today's day and age, you kind of have to run the 3, because if you can just normal summon this and then back it up with a March, it shuts down a lot of decks. Just had probably one of the best games I've had in a long time versus Cyber Dragons. The game was grindy as hell, but once I got this out with the March, it was pretty much game over for him, because Cyber Dragons, special summon, that's everything they do. And for the other 1 tributes, I run 2 Karaz. I normally would have only ran 1, but I seem to have the poor luck of drawing into the 1 copy every time, and since you really don't want to be normal summoning this unless you really have to off of Aether's effects for the special summon, you kind of want to at least keep 1 on deck, but that's the reason why I run 2 of them. Alright, so next, for my big monster lineup, 1 Aether, 2 Thestalos, and 3 Erebus. Aether, kill power, and it goes on your opponent's turn, so you can set up a decent wall if you have to. Thestalos, because hand control is always fun, and the potential burn is even better, especially when you're facing stuff like Blue Eyes, doing free 1600 damage to him. It's so much fun. And 3 Erebus, because that non-targeting, non-destruction removal is still a beautiful thing in today's game. Plus, these 4 right here will ditch your Monarch spells and traps, which get you just more and more advantage as the game goes on. And that's honestly all I have for my monsters. Onto the spells. You run 3 Domain. This is Domain Monarchs. You want this field spell up with the tribute summon monster as soon as possible. I just faced Todd in my last game and completely shut him down because he was playing Ritual Beasts. And as anybody who's played Ritual Beasts knows, they really, really need their extra deck. So this card just shuts off everything, gives you the extra attack you need, makes it easier to tribute summon. If you can't run less, you just flat out cannot. Next, 3 Tenacity. It's the spell and trap searcher. You can search any spell or trap in your deck that has Monarch in the name, just as long as you have any other Monarch in your hand and with how this deck runs, you're gonna have that. The only thing that hurts is when you draw all 3 of these or any of these and not a single Monarch, then it hurts, but you kind of need to run your own searchers. Next, you run 2 Return. 3 was too cloggy, 1 was too little. 2 I find is just right, so you can just put 1 of these guys out, ditch the next one off of Erebus or Aether, and the search effect that goes off just makes it so that you can keep making plays over and over again. It's too helpful to not run. Alright. 2 March. With all the targeting destruction that is prevalent in today's metagame, this card comes in clutch way too often, especially if you open up this Vanity's Fiend and then an Yugioh. You open up all 3 of those, your opponent is pretty much shut down. Vanity's March lock is still very prevalent. Unless you're versing True Dracos, then it doesn't matter in the slightest. But for most other decks, this card is too good not to run. You could side it out if you really so chose. It all depends on the matchup, of course. 1 Pantheism. I'm hearing with the OCG ban list, I am so hoping this comes off of limited and goes up. Even if it goes up only to 2. I don't care. Means I can run one less pot of neg 9. This card is too damn good. I'm hoping Konami doesn't realize that and gives it back to us at 3. 1 Stormforth. Still a really damn good card. Even as a Monarch player, I can tell you this card deserves to stay at 1. As much as it hurts me to say that. This card is a non-targeting, non-destruction tribute summon. So it gets around a lot of cards. It's a really good card. If you're running Monarchs, you run the 1. And now the card I hate the most in this deck, Pot of Neg 9. Every time I play this card, I seem to banish the combo pieces I needed for my combo. So if you're going to play this in Monarchs, like I'm being forced to because I don't have any other good draw cards, you pretty much do your combo and then you play this card to extend a bit more. And hopefully you don't banish what you're going to extend into, which happens far too often. I hate this card so much. That, and I just realized he has a little Hitler mustache. Okay then. The Foolish. Here, I'm gonna coin this term myself. The Foolish Brigade. 1 goods to send your Pantheism or the Prime Monarch. It comes in handy 90% of the time, unless you've already sent everything you want to send off of it. Then it kind of hurts, but that's why you only run 1. And then 1 Foolish Burial to send an Adia, an Erebus. You can go off that way and just figure out what combo pieces you need in the grave. It's a helpful card. I would 100% recommend running it if you have the room. And then my 2 Adia Searchers. Just add to hand and 1 for 1, which in this deck is great because it just extends your combos so much by ditching 1 card. You want to run both. Yeah, you run the full Adia already, but having 2 more Searchers for a card you only run 3 of is always going to be a beautiful thing. Always. And then the 1 Upstart. Draw power. I would prefer to run this over Pot of Desires, but it is limited for very good reason. Thank you, Exodia.dex. And then the last 3 cards. 2 Prime Monarch. Brings it back as a monster if it's in the grave, and it also helps to recur your spells and traps in the grave to get an extra draw. Run 2, you can run a 3rd. I didn't like it at 3. I saw it far too often in my opening hand. And at 2, I'm setting it to grave more often than not for more tribute fodder, and if I do draw into 1, hey, I get more draws. No downside. And then Monarchs Erupt. This card comes in clutch so often, it's not even funny. Once you get out of Vanities, toss down a March, and if you have this backing it up right behind it, it's insane. Not only do you lock out your opponent from special summoning, but you also lock them out of their own monster effects. There's not much they can do unless they have Twin Twisters, MST, Cyclone. It's just a damn good card. You just run it. And that is all. I would show you my side deck, but as I believe side deck is purely preference and changes from meta to meta. So change it up how you want. This is how I run the deck. If you have anything better or better options, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I might actually listen and put them in the deck because I'm always looking for room of improvements. I feel this is the most consistent way to run them right now without really breaking them, which, as everybody knows, Monarchs has a big problem with breaking. Anyways, that's all. Thanks for your time, Todd. Thanks for your time, guys. Have a good day.